All right, time to examine your knowledge a little bit more. If I ask you, okay, this is a whole database, that's fine, but I want to see the results of just Motor City. How much is the transactions, how much we've sold. Means I don't want here to display all the regions. I want just the results for Motor City. What will I do? Yes, you're right. I will just go on this heading and click on this filter and deselect all, select Motor City, and then click OK. So you can see all the transaction that involves only this region. All the other results are hidden. Now, I don't actually want that. What I want is to create a search box. Let me create a search box. I will just copy here and paste it on one other sheet right here. Okay, and as I paste it, I will just delete this contents and I will adjust the size a little bit. Let's just extract it like this. Okay, now what I want is whenever I mention any of the criteria in this search box, according to that criteria, it should extract all the results from the database containing that transactions and paste it right here. For example, if I write that show me the results for Focus POS, it will immediately go in the database, identify the transactions that involves Focus POS sales and paste it right here. As I change the criteria, it should automatically change the results. So that seems amazing, right? So let's just try. This is not a normal filter that we have just seen. This is advanced filters. So what we will do is just follow me. It's not very complex, but you need to follow what I'm saying. For less complexity, let's just name the database. Select the whole data, and I've already named it as DB. You can just write it as DB and hit enter, and then your database will be fixed as a name. Then you will move on to the sheet 1, which we have just created, and then after moving on to this sheet, remember this is a step, so you have to follow. Whenever you are applying advanced filters, you have to be on the sheet where you want to apply that. So I will go in the data tab and select advanced. And now there are two actions. Hey, what action do you want to perform? Filter the list in place. That means where the database contains, just filter it right there. So that is just like a normal filter. What is the use of advanced filters for that? So I will not use that one. I will use copy my results to another location. So it will extract the database containing transactions and paste it right here. So now just select list range. My list range is the whole database. So I don't have to select it manually as I have already named the database as DB. Now, what is your criteria? Same like dsum. All the headings and one blank row where you will mention the criteria, or even more if you want. So I will just keep it to 1 and copy to, okay, if you extract the results, where do you want to copy and paste them? I want to paste it from here and click OK. So as we click, we have the results right here. Okay, I will adjust it a little bit. Okay, now we have all the results extracted from the database. Why? Because you haven't mentioned any of the criterias, right? So if I change the region from blank cell to data, and I want to ask Excel, hey, show me the results just for data. I can notice that the results are not changing. So if I hit F9, it's not working even. So what's the problem? The problem is that advanced filter doesn't refresh automatically. So what is the solution for that? Just delete the database, clean the whole area, go to home and go to clear and clear all. Okay, and then just reapply the filters. That sounds stupid, right? Because if you have to do this over and over again by yourself, then what is the need for using this advanced filters? The reason I told you this, that it doesn't refresh, is because it's a fact. It doesn't refresh. But we can do this. How? When Excel functionality has a drawback, we can take it to a further level by taking the support of macros and VBA. So what does refresh means? It means reprocessing all the procedure again, so that when the sheet refreshes, it shows us the updated results. So that's what we need to do. We will go in the developer tab, and since it doesn't refresh automatically, we have to reprocess all the function again. But we don't want to repeat this each and every time, so we just want to record the macro and ask Excel, hey, just watch me how I am doing this and repeat this every time. I will not tell you again. Okay, so record macro. As we record macro, we will write the name as refresh, and then you can notice it has started the recording. Now it will record whatever you will do in its memory, and it will program itself, So you have to keep in mind the steps that you need to perform before reapplying the filter. You know that if you have given less criterias, you will get more results. And if you have mentioned more criterias to filter, the results will automatically filter and the remaining will be very small amount. So when I apply filter, you have to keep in mind that you need to erase the old data so that it will not overlap the existing data and the new data. So the first step is erasing the data. Now we don't have any data right here, but we can imagine if we had the data, you have to erase that. So we have to record even this step in its memory. Okay, so we will click on this cell and just hold Control Shift, move towards right and then down. Now I know the short key, so I'm using it. Alternate H for home, E for clear, and A, clear all. So I have just cleared all the records. Now what next? Just reapply the filter. Go to data, go to advanced, copy to another location. List range will be my name of the database is DB. Criteria range is whole of this range. You can even delete that and select this again. Copy to means where you want to paste the data. So I will just delete this reference and click again and hit OK. Now you can see all the transactions containing only region data. So that's how you can filter. Now that our steps to use advanced filter have been recorded, I will just go in developer tab and stop recording. Now I need one little button here to play this macro. So I will go in Developer tab, Insert, and Form Controls. I've told you before that form controls are used with macros. ActiveX controls are used with VBA. So I will just click on this, and as I drag and draw the button here, it will automatically redirect the window to assign macro window. So which macro you need to assign with this button? I will assign refresh macro and click OK. So let me just change the criteria. If I change it to Motor City, it will not change now, but if I click this button, you can notice that the results will automatically change. Now I will just hold the right click in this button, and then I can change this button name, refresh, and now click anywhere. Okay, now if you are having any problem with applying this macro, you need to consider that macro records each and every step whenever you are recording it. So I need to include even this functions. Okay, when we start the recording, I will just hold Control Shift down and just delete this record. Then even you have to record this in your recording, that I will start pasting from here. So you have to click on this cell. If you don't, I can show you what will be the problem. Just go in Developer tab. You can also see the program that is running behind that. So I will go in Advanced, and then you can see the refresh macro which we have just recorded. You can edit this to see the backend transactions. Now our first command in the program is range a4.select. That simply means that when we started the macro, we clicked on this cell. If we don't have this command, what will be the effect? Let's see. Okay, after deleting this command, I will just close this button. And if I now try to change the region, for example, data, and click refresh, this result is fine. But if I filter it with Atul and hit enter, if I click refresh, you can notice that there is a little bit of problem. If I again click refresh, now it's working fine. Why? Because we have a little problem here. If I write Smith and we click refresh, there is a problem. But if the cursor is here, when we start the macro, it will work just fine in the second click. So why not it is just working fine in the first click? That's because the cursor is here. So you have to place the cursor from where you will paste the data. If you want to move the cursor automatically to this position whenever we start the macro, you can just go on this macro and edit this, and you can test it, and you can write range bracket open a4 dot select. So it will start from selecting this cell, and then it will go on to this procedure. What you can also do is just delete this whole transactions, Control Shift right and then down, Alt HEA, and then go onto this program. Just I will minimize it a little bit so that I can see at each step what is going on in the background. That's how you test the macros. That is the debug option. You can use F8, and it will show us what each piece of command is doing in the background. So I will just press OK, F8. Okay, just let me reset this and play again. If I place the cursor here and now I want to see whether it comes in A4 or not, I will just hit F8 and F8, range A4.select. So whenever this command executes, the cursor should automatically go from here to here, F8. So this is just working fine. After that, select data from Control Shift right and then Control Shift down. These are the both commands. So F8, Control Shift right, and Control Shift down. This is working fine. Selection.clear. This is the command which Excel pre-programs itself. So we use the shortcut home and clear all. The short key is Alt HEA. So it just cleared the data and then range A4.select again. Now it will go on to this point and then apply advanced filters. So now it is just working fine. Okay, this command will stop the debugger, or you can just click OK or press F8 again and just close this. So that's how you can test the macro commands a little bit. Now I want to see, show me the results for focus that contains region data and the transactions that is only done by Smith. So just hit refresh and then you can see the results. But I can notice one thing, that if I delete this and change to refresh, you can notice little blink here. Did you notice that? If I delete this, you can refresh. Little blink comes whenever the sheet refreshes. You can even stop that. How? You will go in the developer tab again and you need to edit the macro. Go to refresh, edit, and then in the starting, I need to mention that, hey, whenever the macro plays, don't show me the screen updates of what you are doing in the background. So I will write one little piece of code is application dot screen updating equals to false. Application dot screen updating equals to false. So this should solve the problem. I will just close this, and then if I try to hit data and remove focus, whenever I refresh, immediately the results will change without the click of an eye. So if I change the results again, just to focus POS, and we can click, there you have the results. So that is literally amazing. You can also edit the macros a little bit more so that when the macro is processed or our results have already been placed here, it should show the message box, hey, your data has been extracted successfully. So it should show a message whenever we refresh. So I will go in the macro again and then go on this macro and edit. Before the macro ends, it should show a message box. So I will go in the end and write message box. MSG box is the command. You will open the brackets and you can write in inverted commas, congratulations, your data has been extracted successfully. Okay, so whenever you will click on delete this, refresh, congratulations, your data has been extracted successfully. Okay, there you have the data. So that's a little bit about the Visual Basic Programming, although it's not the part of the course, but I'm just very kind. So, see you in the next video.